Hello friends, so we are headed out on an adventure. It's going to be a bit of a challenge. This one is a bit different than we're used to. This is a winter hike. We are headed to a yurt. This is the trail behind me. Biggest challenge on this trip is going to be, can we make it without really know where we're going? I'm leaning my whole weight into this. There's the sun. It's just setting at the tops of the trees. Well, I think we're about out in the middle of the lake. This is not what I had originally thought this vlog would be about. I've never stayed in a yurt. I've always wanted to stay in a yurt. And so it's me, Josh, and Forrest. It is a 3.7 mile hike in. We are not sure of the trail conditions. So either we're going to be snowshoeing or hiking. We'll be putting everything in backpacks or else pulling it in a sled. We don't really know. We kind of are prepared for every option. We are all loaded up. We loaded up our 3 backpacks, but we also brought the sled. So if we get there and there have been snowmobiles in and out and the trail is packed, then we will opt for the sled option. If it is very fluffy snow and we're going to be breaking trail with snowshoes, then we probably just want to have the backpacks. So kind of a challenge. We're all nervous about it, but excited. So stick around, and I think we're gonna have some fun this week. So we are headed to the Teddy Lake yurt, which is in the Craig Lake State Campground. It is the most remote state park in Michigan, I believe is the qualification. So middle of nowhere. And we're going to be hiking out into the middle of nowhere, and there should be nobody out there. So it's going to be a great adventure. So I've been having a little bit of trouble finding out what's there and all of the details of the trail. Hopefully it's not too up and down. It could be. The weird part is we have to go to Van Riper State Park to actually pick up the key. So that is about 20 minutes, 30 minutes past where we need to go. So it's going to add extra time to our trip, which kind of is not ideal, but that's just the way it is. Well, we're at the parking lot for the Teddy Lake yurt. We went to Van Riper, picked up the key, and then drove all the way back again, which was a little bit of a hassle, but that's okay. I did ask them if they've considered just getting a keypad, and they said they have and hope to do that in the future. So this is the trail behind me. So I think it looks like we should be able to take the sled, so we're going to throw the backpacks in the sled, and we'll take the snowshoes as well in case it gets deeper. But it's definitely cold out. I think it's right around 10 degrees and it's a little bit breezy, so I'm not going to be able to do much filming right now because I can't have my hands out too much, but I'll update you along the way. Somebody came through on a snowmobile just a little ways after we left the parking lot. Looked like he was maybe a DNR officer, but he didn't have anything that said that. But he said he just went through, came from Michigami and passed by the Teddy Lake yurt. So at least we have a verified trail to follow. So far I've seen one sign telling us where to go. I did download the Onyx map just in case we do lose service. So other than that, there wasn't a map or anything at the beginning. So I advise if you are coming up here to kind of study Google Maps and stuff like that to try to make sure you know where you're going first. My turn to be the sled dog. Oh, it is definitely warm when you're pulling a sled up a hill. So my pack weighed, I think, 33 pounds. Josh's was 35 or 36. and then forest. So I'm leaning my whole weight into this. I'm barely crawling along. The woods are so pretty though. When you push, I lose my balance. I said, when you push, I lose my balance. It's okay. How you doing? Getting hot? You took your hat off. Yeah. Get run over. Crunch. So we are, I think, over 2.5 miles now. Right around 1 mile. I've decided to just try taking my own backpack rather than taking turns pulling the sled. And I think it's easier. Pulling the sled for me was a lot of work. If we had like a harness, it'd be better, so that might be something we need to work on.
Maybe a rock climbing harness?
Yeah, some sort of belts or harness of some sort. I have to be real careful with my shoulders. If you watched my one video from, I don't know, 3 years ago or something, when we were out at the copper cabin, and I was pulling one of those sleds and I ended up pulling my shoulder really bad. Like, it was severe pain. So I'm real scared that I'm going to do that again. So, luckily we did have just a regular belt, which Josh is using to put the rope of the sled through. So he's still pulling the sled with his backpack and Forrest's backpack. And I've just been carrying mine for the last however far. Are you stuck? You floofed in the snow. So I planned ahead and planned little secret snacks for Forrest. So every 1 mile mark he gets a different secret snack. So that seems to help with motivation. So the first mile he had cheesy goldfish crackers. Mile 2, I gave him the option of something that crawls or something that climbs trees. And he chose something that crawls, so he got gummy worms, which are not something we eat a lot of normally, but special circumstance. So we're almost to mile 3 when the third snack will be revealed. What is it? I hear yelling. Josh says he sees something. Oh, we made it to the border of Craig Lake State Park. So, I think we have about a half a mile to go. The sun is just setting at the tops of the trees. So if we have, I don't know, half an hour or so, get there, get a fire going, and warming up just before the sun sets. It'll be perfect. It's so quiet. Can't hear anything. It's really pretty out here. I like this time of night when the wind just dies down and it gets so peaceful. We're going through a gate now. I think we're real close. I'm actually really warm. I shed a lot of layers just down to my down jacket now. Took off my gloves, my neck warmer. I see something. The outhouse. There's forest. Way up there. It's so pretty in here. Woohoo! You're looking quite frosty. Good job, honey. How's it been pulling the sled?
Tough.
Yeah.
Sore.
Sore. It'll feel good, and I'm glad we have 2 nights here so we can relax. We'll explore the lake, I'm sure, a little bit tomorrow, if we can even see anything. But not have to have heavy load on us will be wonderful. Go get a fire started, start some chili, and relax. There's the outhouse. Must be the woodshed over there, maybe? And the woodshed over there. And the yurt ahead. Cute. Forest is shoveling. We made it. Woo! There it is. There's the outside stuff. There's a lantern, a pot. There's a hatchet, a little camp stove.
That's the torch thing.
Nice. And a little kettle. And a little cast iron pan. And the yurt. We go in. We made it. No windows, bunks, and a table. Cute. Looks like there's life jackets. I think there's a canoe in the summer months. Some wood. And the frozen lake out the window. Now you're really steaming. It's funny. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, your head's steaming.
This is steaming too.
Are you glad you had the hand warmers? Yep. As soon as we get it warm in here, we can get our wet, sweaty layers off, because that's what's gets you freezing really fast. But the fire's starting to feel nice. So, and we're hungry. Tonight's meal is chili. We got the fire rocking now. I pre-cooked the beef. And we hauled chili beans out here. and a little bit of tomato sauce. And we are quite hungry, and I think this looks amazing.
Through 30. Right after that, rained all day. Night one, fishing was slow. Nice beaver dam on the far side of the lake to check out. Birds were very active. Blue jays, Cape May warbles, black-throated blue wobbler, golden cassone, kinglet, Canadian geese, and what? What do you? But I guess we could make a pencil out of a chunk of.
Hello! It is actually afternoon on Saturday. I had quite a night last night. I guess nothing bad happened, but it was so hot in there. Josh and Forrest were on the bottom bunk. Forrest was worried about falling off because there's no railings on the top bunk, so I don't blame him. So I took one of the top bunks. It was so hot in there. I actually ended up just being in my underwear and just sweating. I was just sweating, laying on top of my sleeping bag and sweating. It was so hot. Josh did a very good job of making sure the fire did not go out. I think he was worried about that. So, yeah, it was so hot. Finally about 4 in the morning, I was just like, I started to panic. I woke up and I was so hot that I felt like I was in danger of like overheating. I was just like covered in sweat. Sorry, this is turning out to be kind of a gross story maybe, but yeah. So I came down and I came outside and went and used the outhouse and cooled down. And I was still, when I got back to the yurt, my heart was still like pounding and I just felt really overheated. Josh actually opened the window and I was sitting in front of the window just like so hot. I think I might have been dangerously overheated at that point. So anyway, long story short, I just took I brought one of my blow up mattresses because I have bad shoulders, and even though there's mattresses, they're always not soft enough for me. So I brought down my air mattress and sleeping bag, slept on the floor the farthest away from the stove with the window cracked a little bit, and I finally slept. So I got from like 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. I think with halfway decent sleep. So it gets really hot in there. I was prepared for it to be really cold because I had messaged a lady who I had seen that had stayed at the yurt before, and she said that they ended up sleeping in their jackets all night because it was so cold. But I think maybe they just didn't know quite how to, open the damper on the stove and stuff because it was so hot. So hopefully tonight we have it figured out more. Maybe even just we'll still fire up the stove really hot, but have the window open for some fresh air. And then Forrest had to pee like all night, so I think like 6 times he got up, and so long story, I know, but yeah. So it's been a slow morning. We just have been melting snow and filtered it. We had breakfast earlier, coffee, all that stuff. We needed to clean up, make up some water, melt some snow for water for the dishes, and all that. And now we're gonna go explore a little bit. It was beautiful this morning. The sun was out shining. It was beautiful, and now it's snowing, as you can see. I'm taking a trip to the outhouse, which I will show you the outhouse. And then I think we're gonna go walk down to the lake and just see if there's ice that we can slide around on. It's gotten a little windy, so we probably won't stay out too long. It's been kind of a quiet morning. We've been reading the journal that's left behind, which is always fun. So I'll show you the outhouse. So here's the outhouse. It's a bit of a walk. So that's the woodshed, and then the yurt is over there. So it's a bit of a walk in the dark. But it's a nice outhouse, and there's actually a solar light, which was a nice surprise. It does get slippery when you come in here with snow on your boots, so you have to be careful. But yeah, there's a light. There's a garbage hand sanitizer, probably. I haven't tried it because it's probably very cold if there's any in there even. And a nice little toilet, which is very, very cold in the winter when you're sitting on it. So the one issue we have is the snow comes in and then melts right in the threshold, and then the door gets hard to close. You can tell other people have kind of smashed the door closed. Hi. So that should help. Looks good.
Good.
Just kind of storing some of the food out here too. It'd be nice to have a little kick spot.
For the post for the truck wagon.
Been a little messy in here, but that happens. Melting the snow. Starting some soup that'll be cooking today. There's carrots and potatoes and celery and onions in there. So that can go for a couple hours while we're out doing whatever we're doing. Right, so now this is the snow melt, and we're filtering it through our swayer into this bag. It's a slow process, but it works. It was much better than having to carry 5 gallons of water into the cabin or the yurt. We're gonna go on an expedition. Woo! Sliding down the hill. A bunch of wood under there. So there's the canoe for the summer months. Look at all the ice coming down. It was scary the first time all the ice slid off the roof last night. It was really loud. Sounds like alien fingernails sliding down. It's a cute little thing. I'm curious how it looks underneath, as long as that snow doesn't fall on my head. Okay, so there's insulation under there.
Nice. That's a pretty good supply.
Yep.
That could be a pain in the butt to stick under there, though.
Yep. And there's the lake. Let's go see if there's ice.
Forest turns it into a slide for us.
Uh-huh.
I don't know where the water starts.
Well, there's tracks out here of some sort.
Huh?
So there's a path of some sort out here.
Beaver.
We're on the ice.
Doesn't have wetness on it.
Oh no, do we trust it? I don't. I want to try it. Where do you think we'll fall?
No, it's going to be pretty thick. It's just a wet layer on top. It's a pretty good sized lake, but it's,
Thick, a thin spot, or is
I don't know, maybe somebody's hole there maybe.
I think here's the island.
I don't think there's an island on this lake. I think that was Craig Lake. Oh, Well, I was hoping there was going to be nice clear ice so we could skate around out here, but no, just with our boots. That should be okay.
Oh, I feel like I'm sinking.
Definitely slushy on top. Pretty thick still though. Ooh, that wind is cold.
I think I'll be chopping through.
Slush.
Let's walk across.
If it's snow covered, it won't really freeze that well.
Yeah.
If it wasn't snow covered before it got its ice, it would be okay.
Yeah. Hard to tell. Well, I think we're about out in the middle of the lake. There's no water out here on top of the ice, so I think it's pretty solid. We made it to the other side. We didn't fall through. This side was definitely more solid. The wind was brutal. Just think, maybe nobody has ever stood here before. We're out exploring and we're on a point where it shows there might be a campsite on my OnX map. So it looks like there's a trail. There's these markers here. So I think this goes to the backcountry campsite. These little white markers. I think it's only open in the summer. Oh yeah, there's a North Country Trail sticker. North Country Trail, huh? That's cool. Junction, quarter-mile ahead for the North Country Trail. Huh. It's a lot farther than it looks. Well, guys, I might be sick. I started coughing a little bit, like I could feel it in my chest yesterday, but we have been sucking in a lot of really, sub-zero air, so it could be that. Then obviously I had the crazy hotness last night. So we just went on our hike across the lake like I showed you, and I came back and I was just the most intense chill. I was fine while I was out there, and when we came back I was just chilled so bad, and like the painful kind. So I've been laying under a blanket just shivering, and then I just sat next to the fire, like right next to the fire for a little while. So I have a thermometer app on my phone. I just took my temperature. Obviously they're not 100% accurate. It said I had 104 temperature, which I was just sitting by the stove. I did measure for us, and his was normal, and Josh was slightly elevated. So I think either way I am slightly, for sure, elevated temperature. So hoping, and I have a lot of body aches, but also, we hiked really far yesterday and today. So I'm not sure if it's body aches or cold body aches, like flu or whatever. So I feel really exhausted, but again, we've been working really hard, so I guess we'll see what tonight brings. I really don't want to have the flu for sure. Cold, at least, if it's a bad cold, at least that's bearable. Nobody wants to have the flu. They have the outhouse like way far away, so I'm not having any of those symptoms, thankfully. But yeah, I'm kind of a little bummed right now. So obviously this trip will already be done when you see this, but just send your good wishes my way, because I need them right now. Soup, chicken vegetable soup. How is it? Good. He's not stopping. It must be good. Uno by headlamp.
Fine.
Josh washes the dishes. Forrest was almost out. He was down to his last card, and I changed the color. That was all I could do. Still not feeling the best, but I'm trying. I've been promising Forrest since yesterday that we would play Uno. He fell asleep last night at like 7:30 before we could even play Uno. And I think Josh and I were asleep by 9, so we were worn out. Good morning. It is so perfectly still out here this morning. There's just the slightest breeze. It snowed in the night. It was pretty windy last night. It was beautiful. Just hear a couple of birds. I heard, I think, a blue jay this morning. I was trying to remember if they stayed or left for the winter. I think they're here. Well, it was something that sounded like a blue jay anyway. My brain's not working the best this morning. This is true winter wonderland. Felt very, quite extraordinarily bad last night. I hurt so bad, my whole body. Like, it's just the chills. It's hard to explain. I don't know. Like, the chills were so intense that they physically just hurt my body. And then I kept coughing, and I had like this pounding headache just right across the front of my head. This is not what I had originally thought this vlog would be about. It was me being sick in the woods, but still doing the best. And then I almost thought I had to run outside and throw up last night as well. So, not an ideal trip. I do feel like I got run over by a moose, but relatively okay this morning. Like, I think my fever's gone. I feel kind of a normal temperature. My body's just sore, not only from the hiking, but just from the sickness. So anyway, I'm gonna make the most of this beautiful morning. Check out today, and then the 3.7 mile hike back. It's not a snowstorm. I'm not throwing up, so these are good things. I can't get over the beautiful sky this morning. Wildlife. It's a butterfly. That's crazy.
What, is this sweet and spicy? Did you just eat the sweet and spicy?
Just eat it.
What are you doing? Why are you in here? Where'd you come from? Well, it is almost exactly noon. Checkout is supposed to be at noon. When I looked, I didn't see that anyone else was coming in after us, but somebody could have booked, I guess, in the meantime. So we are almost all packed up. I'm hungry. I feel hungry, but nothing sounds good. I did finally eat a packet of tuna, which maybe doesn't sound like the best when you're sick, but I know I needed some sort of protein in my stomach before our long hike. Now I feel like I might throw up, so I guess wish me luck on our long hike back. The sun was out for a little bit, but it's gone again. The good news is it's not windy, so we're gonna get the rest of the yurt packed up, and then I will keep you updated on the long hike back to the vehicle. We also realized that Josh doesn't think he locked the vehicle before we left, so he's a little worried about that. So hopefully our vehicle has not been gone through, and hopefully it's still there and all that stuff. That would be icing on the cake. So I will keep you updated on that. Forrest is doing the final shovel. Forrest loves to shovel, which is awesome. Nice. My watch says it's 13 degrees. So it felt a little warmer with the sun out, but it's still cold. Looking much cleaner in here now. Final packing up and a sweep, and we should be good to go. Poor Butterfly can go back into stasis again. Hopefully she'll be okay. Well, it's turned out to be a beautiful day. I managed to hike with my backpack on for maybe, I don't know, 0.67 miles. I couldn't do it anymore, and Josh insisted I put it in the sled, which I'm very thankful for. I was really struggling. I'm so thankful for him. He's really doing a lot. I wasn't expecting to be sick. Stop! And the sled keeps tipping over, which is the biggest challenge. Oh, stop! Break time. Forrest and I found a little snow hump to sit on. It feels good to sit. Doesn't it? Oh, kind of a death march. Woo! We made it. The vehicle is still there, full of snow. My energy battery level is red and blinking. I couldn't make it any farther, I don't think. Now we'll see if the vehicle was locked, and hopefully nobody went through it while we were gone. Now we have to drive all the way back to Van Riper to drop off the key, and then we can come back and finally go home. I can't wait to just lay in bed. Forrest can't wait to take a shower. I just can't wait to stop moving and not move for a whole day. It would be nice. Thanks for coming along. I know it wasn't exactly the vlog I was thinking it was going to be with being sick, but whew, I hope you still thought it was an adventure and learned a little bit, and maybe realize that that's not something you want to do, or it is something you want to do. I'll see you next time. And it was locked. He was worrying all this time for nothing. I told him he probably locked it without thinking. Yay! There's times I didn't think we would make it.